Okay, it is super windy out here today, so hopefully you can hear me. Today I'm going to work on knocking these little tiny dents out. You can kind of see, they ain't too bad. You can fill it with filler if you wanted to. The goal is to knock as much out as you can and use as little body filler as you can. So that's what we're going to try to do today. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is use 320 grit sandpaper, and I'm going to go over this, and it's going to show my low spots, and that way I kind of have an idea how much filler I'm going to need. Use 80 to 180 grit sandpaper if applying to bare metal, or sand with 180 grit or finer if applying to surfaces other than bare metal. So I'm going to use 320 since I'm going over paint, but hammer out as much as you can. Use some sandpaper, rough it up. That'll kind of show your low spot so you can have an idea of what you're looking at. Then sand in the low spot, mix up your filler, wipe it in there, sand it down with a good long block, which is what's holding my camera up right now, and then go over it and sand her down. And I think afterwards I might work on getting some of this off. Okay, so right there you can kind of see the low spots. See where it's nice and scratched up. You got a little low spot here yet. Looks like to be a little bit of one right there. Might try to get some more of this one. I think this one's good enough because it's kind of high right there. So I might have to tap on the other side. But anyway, that kind of gives you an idea of how much you're going to use. It's not deep at all, so not much glaze will be using this, which is what you want. Here you have the glaze, and it's super thin. Majority of that's going to be coming off, but this one spot was here. The other one was right here, so all of this will probably be translucent. You have this little spot here and there. I think when I'm done with sanding this off, I'm going to work on getting that weather stripping glue off, and then maybe that, whatever that is, chip guard. There's that little bit there, that glue, and then maybe a little bit down on the bottom of that little bend in it, need to fix. And that's about it on this side besides some scratches. Alright, now I'm going to wipe everything down. Got this sanded down with some 320, and I'm going to wipe it all down with some grease and wax remover. Well, I accidentally ripped my chair somehow. Anyway, so I got these really hard chips and scratches that went all the way down and to the rust, or to the bare metal, and rusted like this. I'm not gonna get up here. I'm just gonna try to focus on this lower half right now. This looks really, really good here. Smooth like glass. Naturally, like with everything else, it seems like the edges are always higher. And there's a couple high spots here, but I think that crease was like, I think it was right here. But there ain't nothing left there. And all the stripping is all sanded off, smooth. Probably need to keep going over this a little bit with that 320. And this here, that adhesive, 80 grit sandpaper was not taking that off. So that is airplane stripper. Probably wouldn't recommend using this either, but it's either gonna work or it doesn't. You're just gonna have to, if you use this stuff in anything, you gotta make sure to really clean this when you're done and make sure there's nothing left, because if there is, there's no paint gonna stick to it. So you gotta make sure you clean it really good. And I think after this, I'm gonna work on all these chips on the bottom, get that sanded down smooth, and we'll kind of see where we're at. But this stuff here does not take nearly as long. But I'm gonna go over everything with some finer grit paper, just feather these out. You can't feel nothing, but you might see that. This is all gonna get a high build. Anything that goes down to bare steel, I'm gonna throw some high build on. The whole truck's gonna get a wet sand, and then it's gonna get a primer sealer on it. So you'll never see any of that anyway. But might work on this side. Need to try to figure this out. Might have to take a little time and work on that. Overall, this is looking good though. This is actually working out pretty good. I might have to hit it one more time, I think. In the video, this kind of looks like bare steel sort of, but it's not. It's actually still adhesive. Probably wouldn't recommend using this either, but if you do use it, make sure when you're done you wipe it down with some good soap and water, and then probably some acetone too, just to be for sure. I do have to try to straighten out this, because if you look on the inside, that little support piece there is bent. I think it's bent on the back too, but so this has to probably be pulled down just a little bit. Like I keep saying, it ain't meant to be perfect. It's not going to be. I want to be able to use the truck and not be too have to be too careful with it. So it will have imperfections on it. So it's not. I'm not going to point them out to you, but it will have some on there. But it'd be nice just to have something that's rust free and mostly ding and dent free. So. And I'll try to get the gaps and everything as close as I can. So yeah, I'm just ready to enjoy this truck, and I mean just drive it really. So I don't know, stay tuned. Alright, so I have definitely plenty of work to do still, but here's where the stripping's at. I hit it with a worn out 80 grit, hand blocked it with 220 and 320, I think, or 380. Okay, so I had to move the truck bed up back this way so I can get this. So now I think what I'm going to do is take this bolt out right here that's attached to that support and finish sanding this all down with some finer grit. Try to straighten this out a little bit. I'm going to have to pull this down, I think. Try to straighten this out and then probably go over all these little spots like this. Okay, so I'm gonna try to take this little bit of a dent out. This right here is not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to go straight and then curve flat, I think, for the most part. So this needs to come down just a little bit, and this needs to come up a little bit right there. So I'm gonna try to do that, see how it works. I guess I'm gonna try to take these and see if I can clamp it on there and straighten it out. I don't know if it's gonna work or not. This side's definitely not perfect either, but let's see if I can get these over here. I don't know, that's probably pretty close anyway. And I straightened this bar out the best I could anyway. It's not perfect. But when you set these beds down, if you set them on these, for one, these are going to bend just like the back. These will bend with it. And then you got to straighten it all out. Alright, so I got that finally started in there. Well, I thought I did. I lied, I did not. Okay, so now what I'm doing with all these rock chips, kind of went over it. I'm still going over it, but right now I'm on 220, and I'm going to do a little bit finer grit, and that's just going to, at least in my opinion, when you go put a high build primer on here, it'll kind of help it get in there and won't have so much to fill because you're kind of knocking it down just a little bit. This will be ready for some high build, and that's where it'll stay until the next step. Okay, so I think this is where I'm gonna call it tonight. I know it's probably not the way to do it, but all this is gonna get sanded out. This will be all wet sanded down, and I'm gonna do one good coat of a high build primer on this. At least the stuff that has a lot of chips, like the bottom here, and anything I do body work on. And then that'll be the last coat of that. That's basically just kind of keeping it from being bare metal for now. And of course, you know, it's still doing its job. Even if you've seen it all off of there, it's still gonna correct some minor imperfections, but thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, throw a comment down below, and I'll see you next time.